Hi, it's Thomas Gronnemark. Here is a video about how I became a throwing coach. It was quite an unexpected journey. But in this video I'm going to tell you how I became a throwing coach in Liverpool FC, Ajax, Ghent, RB Leipzig, and in the end of this video I'm going to give you a little present, so stay through all the video. But I started as a football player when I was a little boy, and here is a picture of me and my friend Michael. We played in the small Danish club Horsens Freja, and yeah, it was fantastic to play in this club. I really had a fun time playing football. I soon revealed quite a talent of being a football player, so I changed to a bigger club and I played in the big club Horsens FS, later called AC Horsens, and it's me at the top row, the second player from the right. I was pretty good playing football. I reached the highest youth league in Denmark, U19, and I was really good at especially two things. First of all, I was really fast, and then I also had a really long throw-in because as a kid I've seen my big cousins Ben and Johnny doing long throw-ins, so I've used a lot of times, yeah, rehearsing to be a really good thrower myself. But in the mid 90s I realized I couldn't be a professional football player because, yeah, to be honest, my technique wasn't good enough. So in the mid 90s, I changed sport to athletics. And already the first year when I was doing athletics, I came on the Danish national team in athletics. I was running 100, 200, 400 meters in relays. And here you can see my relay team from AGF Denmark with my good friends Anders, Ken, and Stefan. But I had 6 successful years in athletics. I was several time Danish champions, and I think my best result was in 2000 together with my teammates from Aarhus 1900, where we won the European Championship in the 4x400 meter relay for club teams in Paris. That was in year 2000, so that was a really big thing for me. In 2002, I've never been better, and yeah, my results were great because I've been setting personal records on 100 and 200 meters. But I also lost a bit of motivation because I've been moving to a small town in Denmark called Skive because I met my wife and suddenly I was training alone. So even though I had good results, I thought, hey, I have to find a new sport and especially a team sport because I didn't want to train alone anymore. So in 2002, I changed sport to bobsleighing, and I came on the national bobsleigh team in Denmark. And this picture is from the summer start meeting in Ilsenburg in Germany, the World Championships, where we, together with my Danish team, became number 4 in the World Championships there. When you're working at a bobsleigh team, you have to work 12, 14, 16, sometimes 18 hours per day because you have to repair the sled and polish the runners and also train uh, 2 times per day. So a hard sport, but we really bonded well together. Here's also a picture of me. It's not me repairing the sled. It's me lying on the ground, and as you can see here, I really need to work on my tan. But again, it was 4 great years on the Danish bobsleigh team. We were very innovative too. So it was actually in the middle of that bobsleigh period in 2004 where I thought, hey, if I can make a good throw in myself, can't I teach other players to do the same? So I went down to my local library in Skive, in where I live, and tried to find that book about throw-ins, but there were no throw-ins at all. So I had to make my own course. So I used approximately 6 months to do a throwing course, and then I'm ready. I was ready to be a throwing coach, but I didn't have any teams, and again, to be honest, I didn't know if my things would work. So I could have been starting with a youth team or amateur team, but in the fall 2004, I had the courage to ask a local Danish Super League club called Viborg FF, and luckily enough, they said yes. So I started in Viborg in the fall 2004. It was a big success. The club scored a lot of goals after throw-in situations, and the club had its best placement ever in the history in that season 204 205. So yeah, so since 2004, I've been a professional throwing coach. So yeah, it's really been a fantastic journey. In 2008, I thought, hey, it could be good or great to have the world longest throw-in. The reason why I thought that was because when I was the only throwing coach in the world, it could also be cool to have the longest throw-in. At that time, there was an official Guinness World Record of 48.17 set by Mike Lochner from the States, set in 1998. So the world record was 10 years old. I could throw like 40, 42 meters, and that's really far compared to even the best throwers I'm coaching in football. But I knew I could never beat the world record on 48 meters with a normal throw-in. So one day I saw flip throwing in the television. And the flip throwing is where you are taking a run in, jumping down on the ball, making a flip, land on your feet, and then throw the ball. The only challenge was that I was a non-gymnast. I couldn't even do a small tumble. So yeah, I had to get help. So I got help from 3 different gymnast coaches. And I got better at doing a flip throw in. And it ended up in that I had the chance to um, make a world record attempt in the match between Denmark and Spain in Parken, the national stadium in Denmark. That was a really great experience there. I threw approximately 44 meters, also raised approximately um, $15,000 for a fund called JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. So I was really proud about that. I trained on, and in 2009 I also had a world record attempt in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin with 40,000 spectators. So great experience there. I didn't beat the world record there because it was raining totally. So that's really hard circumstances for flip throwing when you have to jump on the ball. But it gave me a lot of motivation, and it ended up in 2010. I set an official Guinness World Record of 51.33 meters, and you can see it here. Some people think that I'm only as a throwing coach coaching the long throwings, and I did that in the first couple of seasons. But one day in 2007, I saw one of my teams doing throw-ins in the middle of the pitch in a match, and they lost possession, and they lost possession on the second and the third ball too. So I really thought it was bad, and I only thought it was amateur and youth teams who were so bad at the throw-in. So I started looking at all the matches I could see around the world, and I was totally in shock because I could see that most teams were losing possession more than 50% of the occasions when they had a throw-in under pressure. And it was both in the Premier League, Champions League, Bundesliga, La Liga, everything. So in 2007, I started up with my long, fast, and clever throw-in philosophy. For me, it was totally a missing link in football. I could see that there was approximately 40 to 60 throw-ins in a match, and most teams were really bad at the throw-ins. So I thought, hey, I can make a difference here. So I started working on my long, fast, and clever throw-in philosophy. And to say it very short, long throw-ins, it's all about improving the players' throw-ins so that they can throw longer, have a set-piece weapon, or improve the players' throw-in area so you can throw to more teammates all around the pitch. Fast throw-ins, all about how can you react and throw fast and know when to throw fast, but also when to have patience. And then the clever throw-ins, that's all about working with 3 zones. I'm working with 50 different throwing tools, and so the players have many different options in different places of the pitch. So all in all, working with the players' throwing intelligence. You can see much more about my long and fast and clever throw in another video here on my channel. But how did you get the job in Liverpool FC? There's a lot of people who's asking me about that. In June 2018, there was a player from FC Midtjylland, a club I've been coaching for many years. The player was called, or is called, Andreas Paulsen. He had improved his throw-in from 24.25 to 37.90 meters and under my training, and I was really proud of him. And in June 2018, he was sold to Borussia Mönchengladbach for approximately 3 million euros, $4 million, or something like that. So I wrote a tweet and saying, proud of Andreas Paulsen. He has improved his throw-in from 24.25 to 37.90 meters with my coaching. Looking forward to some insane throw-ins in the Bundesliga. And as you can see here, at that time, I only had a small following on Twitter. So yeah, I didn't really know what would happen with this tweet. But there was a small Borussia Mönchengladbach fan media who contacted me after that tweet and said, hey, can we make an interview with you? And out of that came a little article. A few days after, there was a journalist from the German newspaper Bild who saw that article, and they asked me, hey, can we make an article with you? And of course I said yes, because Bild is a gigantic newspaper in Germany. And it ended up with this article, Bundesliga Profi hat eigene Einwurftrainer. This means that Bundesliga Pro has his own throwing coach. And there was millions of people who saw this article. And as I heard later, there was also some very famous people who saw that article too. But a few weeks after, on a hot summer day, early July 2018, I was on a summer trip with my wife and my kids. We had to visit a chocolate shop in Denmark, and just before we went into the chocolate shop, I looked at my phone because it had been turned off, and I could see there was a plus 44 number who had been calling, and I thought it was just a salesman from England who wanted to sell me some pens or so. So I listened to the voicemail, and then it was Jürgen Klopp, the manager from Liverpool FC. And I was totally in shock, and if I hadn't been sitting in a car seat, I probably would have been tumbling over. So I tried to call him back, but he didn't answer. So I went into the chocolate shop with my family, and when we came back, I thought, hey, I better go home to myself and take perhaps the most important call in my life. So I was driving the car, my wife was sitting beside me, the kids in the back, and then suddenly the phone rang, and my wife picked the phone up and she said, it's Jürgen. And then I just took the car, drove directly to the right and into a grass field. And I picked up the phone, and it was Jürgen Klopp, and he said, we had a really good season in the 17-18 season, but we were really bad at the throw-ins. We lost the ball almost every time. So Jürgen Klopp invited me to a meeting at Melwood, and the week after, and it should only have been a meeting and nothing else. But Jürgen Klopp was so convinced that I had the chance to coach the Premier League team already the day after. This is actually my very first training day in Liverpool FC, coaching 21 players. All players weren't injured or at vacation after the World Cup. So it's been like a dream coming through for me, coaching Liverpool FC as a throwing coach. As many of you know, we've been winning the Champions League the first season I was there, and the Premier League the second season after 30 years of waiting time. So I'm really proud of being a part of Liverpool FC, but it's also been meaning that this has been opening up the football world to me. I'm a freelance coach and I can coach any team I want. So yeah, in 2020 I've been traveling to 8 different clubs, going to 3 different continents. So yeah, it's like a dream come true for me to be a freelance throwing coach. So thanks to Jürgen for calling me on that July day in 2018. How much has Liverpool FC improved their throw-ins? Yeah, Liverpool, the season before I came to Liverpool in the 17-18 season, where they had a 4th place in the Premier League and went to the Champions League final where they lost against Real Madrid. Liverpool had a possession on 45.4% on throw-ins under pressure where the players are marked. In my first season in 18-19 season, we improved to throw-in possession on throw-ins under pressure to 68.4%, so up with 23%. And we went from number 18 in the Premier League to number 1 in the Premier League. This is not my numbers, it was numbers from Tifo Football, and yeah, you can see an article about that here. You can also see Tifo Football's video on YouTube, so be sure to watch that too. But when I'm looking at throw-in numbers in general, I'm looking at, first of all, possession, but also how can we create chances on throw-ins. And I'll also say that you can calculate numbers in many different ways if you're looking at throw-in possession. But all in all, you can say that the last 3 seasons in Liverpool, we have been having possession in normally 60 to 100% of our throw-ins. And if you're looking at our opponents, our defending throw-ins, our opponents have been having 20 to 50% possession. So normally in a match will be 20, 30, 40%, 50% better than the opponents. And sometimes it's even more extreme. We had a game against Tottenham Spurs where we had 100% possessions on throw-ins under pressure, and Spurs had only 4 out of 16, so 25%. So it means a lot to have possession, because then you can have control of the game, but then you're also sure that the opponents are not scoring on your throw-ins, and that's really good. If we're looking at goals, chances, in the 2019-20 season, we scored 14 goals after throw-in situations, and it's not long throw-ins towards the opponent's goal because we're not really using this in Liverpool, but it's throw-ins all around the pitch, also from our own penalty area. This season, the 2021 season, we scored 7 goals until now, and we only halfway through, so at the moment it's looking like it'll be approximately the same as last season's. 3 of these 7 goals have been scored in the Champions League, so of course really satisfied with that. And then in the end, my presents for you, my 4 best basic throw-in drills. You can get them on thomasgronnemark.com/free. You can use these 4 basic throwing drills from U10, U12, and then up to professional players. So it's all about how can you create space in the near area around the thrower, and the focus points is precision, space creation, angles, precision, yeah, and so on and so on. But again, thanks for watching this video. It'd be super cool if you can make a comment here on this YouTube video, and if you have some questions, I'll answer you, and for example also answer in a future video. You can see much more about my throwing coaching at thomasgronnemark.com. You can read a lot, you can read a blog, you can read much more about the content of my coaching. And then in the end, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to publish a book in the future about throw-ins. I'm writing on that at the moment, already been writing like 60,000 words. Perhaps if you're looking at this video in the future, my book about throw-ins is already been published. So look down in the subscription after it. But until then, again, be sure to subscribe, and I'll be giving you a lot of good throw-in videos with tips and drills in the future. Have a great day. Bye bye.